11 illegal things you should never do on Twitch. Even if you already know all of these, there's going to be some insanely entertaining ones that you probably didn't know existed. I mean, just for example, as you saw in the thumbnail, AIMbot. This is really surprising to me. Twitch will actually ban people for using AIMbot? I can't believe it. I mean, is it now their job to moderate games and to like actually take care of community management? Does Blizzard and EA and Riot Games and everybody no longer have to manage their own games and hacks and cheats? It looks like Twitch is taking that duty onto themselves. That's kind of ridiculous, Perrin. What do you think about that? Banning people for using AIMbot? What the hell is that?
Yeah, so that's probably the most weird one on the list, because it's not really Twitch's responsibility to make sure all these games are like safe to play for the users. I mean, it's a noble goal for them, but I don't think they have that kind of power. I guess streamers could get an unfair advantage in streaming by aimbotting, but that's also questionable too, because as soon as viewers start seeing that person's aimbotting, they're going to be jumping all over them and with negativity and trolling, and that streamer is not going to survive. So I think that's something where Twitch does not need to get involved, and it would take care of itself. We've got much more great things on the list though, but first, our Restream ad.
This podcast is sponsored by Restream. Why live stream to one platform when you can simultaneously live stream to every platform to discover new audiences faster using Restream.io?
Number 2 on our list of 11 illegal things to never do on Twitch. I should have read these beforehand. Drawing donors' names on your breasts. Actually, this is ironically the same way I got on this podcast, by putting AWOL's name on my breast. Is this
Are
real?
You sure?
Like, yeah, 100% sure I did. But drawing names on your breast for donors. I guess I have a lot of questions on that. The first being, why would somebody pay money to have somebody else write your name on their breast? I don't see the excitement.
Oh, Ross.
Like, what am I taking screenshots and sending to all my friends and be like, look how lonely I am? I don't.
Perrin, educate this man as to how dumb
Please
simps
do.
are. Please help us out here.
Clearly, Ross, you do not subscribe to the Coomer culture that exists on Twitch.
Clearly.
And you need to get on board because it's the new thing. No, in all seriousness, there are creators who are attempted to do this for success, and it will work. You will get viewers, you will get donations, but you will also get banned. So Twitch cracks down on this quite significantly. They have very, very clear standards on their community guidelines about what you can show and what you can't. And yes, sometimes some streamers, creators might get away with a little bit of it here and there, but eventually they're going to get banned if you're showing too much skin, or basically in this case, if you're focusing the stream's content's attention on a sexual part like breasts or ass or anything else like that. So don't do that. You will get banned. It might get you some short-term success, but in the long term, you could lose your entire account. So that's one illegal thing to do on Twitch.
It's true. And also shirts off for men also counts. So it's not just women here that they're cracking down on, especially like there's a lot of guys that are in incredible shape on Twitch and they want to like show off their muscles, their chest and what have you. You can't wear a tank top, I believe. That shows off too much muscle and skin even as a man on the platform. They're being really careful with skin. So that is something that you can actually get banned for that you might surprise you. I think it was shocking how basically strict they're being. And oh, Ross, no, you're gonna get us banned. No,
I'm so sorry. Let me get the clothes back on.
God, what is that? But that one is shocking to me, how kind of uptight they're being. I understand they want to be safe for advertisers and they want to make sure that there's no sexual content on the platform, but showing absolutely no skin to me makes no sense. I mean, they allow gambling on the platform with poker and what have you. And so to me, the limitations that they have there, who informs this stuff? You guys should be aware of it though, because it could get your Twitch channel destroyed. Those hundreds of hours that you put in could just go away. Ross, please continue with this list.
Number 3, playing copyright music. I think this is going to be the pattern for any platform on things you can't do. But I think it's especially worthy to mention for Twitch, because so many people are just so careless about tossing on the radio in the background, or maybe someone in the other room is listening to their old CD player, as if those aren't even a thing anymore.
CD player,
but you get the point.
They're phonographs.
Right.
That makes sense. So there's a bunch of solutions that are out there right now that you guys need to be taking very seriously in terms of music. Many Twitch streamers have decided they're going to do no music on their stream at all. I think that's an extreme reaction to what happened recently with the DMCA apocalypse that happened on Twitch. I think people are starting to now come back to the idea that they can play music on their live stream. They just need to license it. And so there's a number of solutions that we can recommend to you guys that are great. That currently right now, for example, they don't pay us to say this, but currently I'm playing music to you through Pretzel Rocks, and I've enabled no explicit content. I've enabled YouTube safe on it and what have you, and you're hearing that music in the background right now. That is one licensable solution. Looks like Perrin's pulling up some of those solutions right now. Here's Pretzel Rocks. Consider supporting the service. It's free, and there's also a premium version. Also, other services include Monster Cat Music, who has partnered up officially with Twitch. You can get licenses for their music there. And then another option that is out there to consider is a service such as something like Stream Beats is another one that Harris Heller has put together. In any case, if you decide to select a music licensing option, make sure that you actually have the license. If you just got it from a royalty-free website and you just think it's quote-unquote royalty-free, you may be in a world of hurt in the future when one of those artists decides to sign with a label, and then the label starts claiming that music and copy striking every instance of that music on the internet. Just because an artist tells you you have the rights to use the music doesn't mean that they won't sign with a label, and the label will be evil and will crush your channel later on with your archives and what have you. So make sure you have a license in hand. Download that PDF, print it out, do whatever you need to do to make sure you have a copy of your channel, your name, your legal entity has the rights to play and monetize that music commercially in your hand. Put it on your Google Drive and save it. So if anybody comes after you later, you have that legal backup to make sure that you don't get effed over, because this is not the first time DMCA strikes have come along, and this is not the last time. This is going to be for the lifetime of the internet an issue, because the recording industry is not friendly. Their lawyers are real mean. Back to you, Ross.
Yeah, they got to get that money somehow, because they're not making enough just on music alone, as we all know. Number 4, this kind of goes right in line with what we were just talking about, and it's playing copyright videos, which is like TV shows, movies, viral clips. It's amazing. Something that I've seen catch on, and I know some platforms are actually embracing it, is like watch parties. But those are a little bit different than actually showing clips from TVs and movies and stuff in your live stream, correct?
Yeah, that is different. There's a cool feature, right, Perrin, where you can do watch parties through Amazon Prime Video. Tell us a little bit about that. Have you ever checked those out before?
So I tried that with my audience. So everybody who's going to watch, if you have Prime and you're a streamer, you can do this, and you can play anything from the library of Prime Video. But your viewers also have to have Prime as well to watch it, or else no one will able to see anything on the screen. So it can be tough. It's a very like insular community thing, because any new people who are stopping across your stream, they're not going to see anything but like you on the screen, and that's all they'll see. So it can kind of be tough. It can kind of alienate maybe new people coming in. So it's not the greatest like growth feature, but it's kind of cool to have like a fun like night with your community and to watch something that maybe they're all interested in. Though I don't know if I would do it on Twitch. I would maybe go do it on Discord or something like that. But anyway, so that's nice. But streaming shows, especially like English shows that are on Prime networks, don't do it. Don't do it. It's the same as streaming music. I mean, you get the same type of copyright stuff. And I know we see some streams, and I think there was one up here where like they're playing different animes and they're watching those normally in a different language. And this is a common thing you see on Twitch. This is not going to be around forever. Eventually this will get cracked down on too, most likely. So I wouldn't rely on this mechanic for your stream content or your viewership either.
That was the kind of crap that you saw people do with music years ago, and they said, what? Well, I see other people just playing music whenever they want, and so it should be fine. And so just because you see other people doing something on Twitch doesn't mean that it's not illegal, literally, and that you couldn't be banned or struck or sued for money later on. Did you know that you're liable for losses that these companies have taken on if they determine it? By you streaming to, let's say, 2,000 viewers in this case with this anime that we just showed, they could say, you know what? We actually lost 2,000 sales of our DVDs and Blu-rays for this show. So 2,000 times 30 equals you owe us thousands and thousands and thousands of tens of thousands of dollars, and we're going to take you to court over that. You might be like, are you kidding me? That would never happen. That never happens on Twitch. Yeah, that's what everybody said about DMCA. That's what everybody said about the music. And that's why 3 years ago, on the original version of the Digital Drop podcast, when I did the show by myself, I told everyone like 10 times, DMCA apocalypse is coming to Twitch. Copyright holders are going to catch on once Twitch goes mainstream, and it did go mainstream as soon as Drake and Ninja played together. Everybody found out about this platform at that moment, including all of the greedy lawyers and companies that own IP. So don't play anything of any description unless you have a written license to play it on your stream. Otherwise, that is potentially illegal, and you could I'm not your lawyer, but you could potentially be liable in a criminal capacity, maybe getting fines, maybe having to settle out of court. I'm serious. There are outcomes, depending on how big your stream gets, that could be real nasty for you. I'm not your lawyer, but what I will tell you as somebody that cares about you, don't play any copyright content of any description. That would be my personal recommendation to anyone I care about, not your lawyer. Back to you, Ross.
This also goes for sound effects or like movie quotes and stuff. Because I actually, when we were setting up the show, adding sound effects, I sent a bunch of movie quotes over, and Aimol and Asher were just kind of like, no, we're not doing that. We're not taking that risk. By the way, we do have a gaming creator bundle that we are giving away. If you like all of this hot equipment right here,
so
maybe
hot.
A brand new mixer,
Yeah.
$1,100 value. You get a full Procast mixer here. You're getting a microphone, studio, shock mount, boom arm, pop filter, restream license. I'm so excited I can't
Look at
even
those
say
arrows.
it. TubeBuddy Legend license 3 month, and all it's $1,100 value. All you have to do is go to Digital Drop Pod to enter. We have the giveaway, and I'm dropping the link right now, the direct link directly into the comments, so you can go sign up for that. Moving on, number 5. This is another big one. This is kind of all tying in together. We did a great job of listing this out. Misrepresenting
God, we're so
a product.
smart. We are so smart.
Just freaking
Yeah.
brilliant. Misrepresenting a product or service for profit. This is actually a this is something that is actually major, and you see this a lot. The ones that can get away with it are like the QVC in those places that do just an awesome job of selling these things late at night. You cannot get away with it. You cannot.
No, you cannot. And so there are a bunch of streamers that are on Twitch thinking that it's the Wild West and thinking that they can just tell their audience whatever because nobody's paying attention, because no real adults are paying attention. Well, there have been multiple scandals on Twitch, as some of you guys may have. Oh my God, somebody's playing American Dad. Look at that. I'm sorry, we have to pull this up on the screen right now.
Playing American Dad, actually.
American Dad guy is playing American Dad on Twitch. This guy, he loves to get his channel banned, and he loves
done this
to
for
maybe
a long time.
he loves to get sued later on for damages. This guy loves that. So anyway, we're just seeing it here live. For those of you guys watching the audio version, this guy just plays American Dad episodes 24/7. He needs to get ready to have a cease and desist letter in his mailbox 24/7. Seriously, do not do what that guy just did there. That is illegal, potentially. I'm not a lawyer. Okay, so misrepresenting your product or service. So we've seen examples in the past of like CSGO websites and like gambling websites and stuff. And streamers and guys have come on screen and they've hyped up their service. They've hyped up a website and pretended like they were an average streamer. And they were actually the CEO of a company. And they were opening up these packs and what have you and telling people, come join this exciting service. I just discovered it. It's so organic. I can't believe how awesome this is. And it turns out that the service that they were showing on screen was theirs and they actually owned it. Not disclosing your business relationships, not disclosing sponsorships, not disclosing dangerous things about a product or service, or soliciting people to join a product or service that maybe would be against the terms of service of Twitch, such as different gambling websites, porn sites, and others that may be objectionable to advertisers. That can subject you to significant cost in terms of maybe getting banned, suspended, maybe even subjecting yourself to lawsuits later on, not your lawyer. So I would be very, very, very careful. Any sort of business relationships that you have with any company that you talk about on your stream, you need to be extremely straightforward, extremely transparent about the nature of that. For example, every single live stream we do, we talk about we are sponsored by Restream. If we mention TubeBuddy, I talk about how I'm a TubeBuddy affiliate. These Rode mixers and microphones, Rode provided us all this gear for this giveaway. You know, blah, 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 blah. You always have to disclose those relationships every single time you broadcast, because if you don't, you're subjecting yourself to potential penalties later on, and those hundreds and thousands of hours of work you're putting in could just vaporize in an instant. Back to you, Ross.
It's honestly just not worth it. And just going back real quick to the American Dad thing, one of the popular things that I've seen, not just on Twitch, but on other platforms, is when somebody wants to show a clip from a popular show, what they'll do is they'll toss it in an audio mixer and change the pitch to make it sound deeper or a little more squeaky, thinking that the audio sensors then will not pick up on it. And that's just so completely false. They will eventually. They actually have the technology now to do it. A good example of that, by the way, just go on Facebook, toss on a Nike hat with the Nike logo, and see what ads start popping up on your feed. It's unreal, and it's a little bit scary. Number 6 is another example of why I should have read these before we actually... Are we going to talk about this?
I want
right.
Perrin to talk about this one. Number 6 is about
Just
showing something.
I don't even want to say it, Perrin. You go ahead and read it off. Let's let Perrin take the ring on this one.
Okay. Wow. Thanks for that segue. So this one, a streamer basically she dropped her pants and showed everything that was under there on stream, and actually spread her cheeks and showed what was behind there as well. And
it's a magic trick.
Yeah. Okay. So
pull a rabbit out of the hat.
This is a great marketing tactic, but it's also a great tactic for getting you banned on Twitch. Although she was, I think,
terrible idea.
This is a terrible idea. The drama around this, though, occurred because she did this, and then Forsen was banned kind of in a similar time for I'm not sure what reasons, or maybe reasons we'll just never know, because that's Twitch can do that. And he was banned for 30 days, and she was only banned for 3. The moral of the story is don't drop your pants and show your parts on stream. It's just not going to work out for you, not just on Twitch, but like also in real life as well. Like, don't do that. Things that go on the internet tend to stay on the internet permanently, even if you delete them. So keep in mind that if you're going to have kids someday, they're probably going to see this clip, you know, or if you've got a family, they're maybe going to see this clip too. So it's not just about the Twitch ramifications. It's also about just the real world ramifications of these decisions too. So as tempting as it might be, Ross, and I know you really want to do this too, because we really want to blow up this podcast, but no, don't do it. It's not worth the short-term gain, and it's not worth getting banned by Twitch in that way. And so in this case, you know, this person, I don't know if they're still streaming now, but they caught the ire of pretty much the entire streaming community, and they got caught on live stream fail too, and everybody pretty much hates them now for doing this tactic. So
let me just be a little bit more straightforward. Don't show your rectum on stream.
There you go.
That's it. Back to you, Ross.
I don't even know how to move forward after this one. I can't believe that's actually a real thing. Yeah, like what parents said. Talk about an awkward Thanksgiving dinner. You already had the creepy uncle you got to deal with, let alone your whole family knowing you're showing your butthole on stream.
Hey there, I saw your rectum on the internet.
Wow, you've really grown up, kid.
I remember when you were 7. All right, let's move on.
Oh, God. All right, number 7, drug use. Obviously, this is a big no-no. It's one thing you see a lot of people smoking weed, but they don't even like cigarettes. It doesn't even have to do with weed. Smoking anything is kind of banned. Like, they don't want you doing any of that. And it's actually a lot more common than what you think.
That's right. Perrin, you've got a shot here. We're not going to play this video because this was, I think, banned on Twitch. We're just going to show this kind of still image here. We're not going to play the content of it. What is the context here? Let's tell people what they should be avoiding, Perrin.
Yeah, so this is just a clip of a Minecraft streamer who recorded himself smoking weed, and further in this video, he tilts the camera down and you can see kind of everything on his desk as he's rolling up a blunt, and then he actually smokes it on stream. I don't want to hate on anyone who actually likes smoking. That's not my thing, but you shouldn't be doing it on Twitch because it's specifically against their community guidelines. And so please avoid doing that. You can do what other streamers do and go smoke off stream, take a break, and then come back to your stream afterwards. Don't show it on the stream, and don't allude to it specifically. If you're going to talk about it in a discreet way. You guys should know the nuance by now. Especially if you are a smoker, you should know the nuance. But just the clear thing is, don't show yourself smoking on stream. It's just you will get banned, and imagine getting banned for that reason. A, it's not really providing any huge benefit for you or your audience,
Right.
and B, so you're not getting any viewers from it. So you're literally doing something that gets you no benefit, and it's a huge risk for you. So there's literally no reason to do it when you can just say, hey audience, I'm going to take a normal break as I should or maybe do on my stream, and I'll be right back in a couple of minutes. Then just come right back and you just keep streaming. And they will be able to tell if you are high now or not. You don't need to be overt about it. And then your audience can have fun with that if they want to. Do it in a discreet way. Don't smoke on stream.
That makes sense. And one thing I'd like to add to that, a lot of people think that vaping is allowed, whereas cigarettes and marijuana or something like that would not be allowed. Things like vaping is not allowed as well, to my knowledge. So anything that kind of resembles, think about like the most conservative, fundamentalist, like conservative person you know. If they watched your stream, would they have an objection to anything that you're doing on your stream in terms of drug use or what have you? Would they be clamped and would they go, oh dear, I can't believe what I'm seeing in front of my eyes? If you feel like that person would have an objection to some of the drug use or substance use that you're having on your stream or what you're doing, then you should take a double take on that. You should rethink it and potentially not do that on your stream.
You said you were going to double down on it for a second.
I thought you were going to.
Double down on it. Get a bong, a vaporizer, some joints, some blunts, and everything, and just go full Snoop Dogg on your stream. No, don't do that. I'm not advising drug use. What I'm telling you is be conservative, be careful, because here is what Twitch is trying to do, and we'll go to the next number. Twitch is trying to expand their advertising business. Twitch is losing hundreds of thousands of dollars per quarter as a business, and they need more advertising revenue in order to make it. The only way they can make more advertising revenue is if more of their Twitch stream inventory on their platform is brand safe. So you smoking cigarettes and weed and drinking alcohol and all of that limits Twitch's revenue. Think about that for a minute. If what you're doing is making Twitch less money or preventing them from making money, don't you think they might take action on you? You're hitting them in the pocketbook when you do that. That is a horrible idea. Back to you, Ross.
Ooh, yes. Another horrible idea is inciting violence or threatening people's lives on stream. I feel like this is something we shouldn't have to cover, but yet here we are needing to cover it because it's happening.
Yay. So yeah, a lot of people get really fired up when they play video games. There can be a lot of drama that happens on Twitch, as you guys are well aware, and a lot of people like that stuff, right? That's fine. You can talk about drama, you can talk about internet drama, but talking about physical threats to anyone else, I'm gonna come over to my house and kick your ass, or I could kick your ass, or doing anything that involves like actually going physically somewhere or having some sort of physical altercation with anyone else. Horrible idea. Also, I want all of you guys to be careful, given the fact that at the moment that we're recording this, there's literally a trial in US Congress right now about a political riot. I don't want to get into the politics of it, but even touching anything or talking about anything related to public violence or riots in the streets, things of that description where there is violence happening, even talking about those topics related to violence, even if you're not saying I'm going to participate in it or I'm going to go march myself or I'm going to burn that thing down or whatever it is that you were going to say, don't even talk about violent events on your stream. That would be a piece of advice I would give anybody I care about, because you could potentially be associated with that later on. Think about it. Let's say you were just doing a stream and you were just during the Capitol riots as example, and you were just doing commentary on it, you were talking about it, maybe you make a couple jokes about it, for example, having no idea how it would turn out, right? And then, you turn on the news or you come back the next day, it turns out the Capitol riot wasn't funny at all. Big mistake, right? So don't talk about these controversial, potentially violent public events, and certainly don't make specific threats or talk about any physical violence specifically to you taking action. Be very, very careful with this. Society is very sensitive to this right now, probably at an all-time high. And I just really want to warn you guys to be careful. I know you want free speech. I know you want to be able to express yourself, but this moment in history we're probably overly sensitive to it, to be honest. So be extra careful for that reason. What do you think about that, Perrin? Am I being a little too careful here? I just feel like as a public figure, streamers could be putting themselves at risk by even just like dipping their toe into that arena.
You know, there is a space for politics on Twitch, and the people who cover it though, they're very careful about what they show on screen, and they're very clear on what they can and what they can't show and how they go about safely doing that. So you have to know going into that space, you know, what you're getting into and what you'd be opening yourself up to by going into that space. So since the politics is a growing content space on Twitch, I don't want to deter creators from going there. But if you do make that decision, you just have to understand, you know, how careful you will have to be. And even if you're perfectly careful, you're still not going to be 100% safe. Even some of the major politics streamers have gotten swatted, have gotten DDoSed, have gotten attacked, have threats on their lives. You know, you have to understand the personal risks you'll be taking, as well as the risks to your content and your brand. And if that's okay with you, then make sure you understand what you can and you can't show. So I know Hassan Abi, who's the biggest political streamer on Twitch, will pre-watch everything in a way that he can hear audio, but it won't go out on stream. A clip that users send him before he brings it to his screen and shows the rest of the audience. That way he can make sure that he doesn't show violence. And I've seen this stream a couple times, especially with the recent attack on the US Capitol, of him watching the content being, oh no, I can't show that. And then he watches it, and you can tell he just previews it on stream live, but off camera, so his audience can watch him. And he normally will say, okay, I can't show this because there's too much blood, or something like that.
That's smart. That's what TV does. That's what traditional broadcast does. That's trying to meet those societal standards. That's a great insight, man.
Yeah, he's very good at that. So you have to be, if you want to do that, you have to be very, very good at it, be very clear, and you have to have a system that you can safely preview everything before it goes live. A lot of us get caught in this everything is live, no filter attitude on Twitch, and that is not good brand safe behavior for the long term. Ross, what's next?
Actually, our Restream ad is next. We are brought to you by Restream.io. Stop focusing on one platform and stream to all of them like we are right now. Excuse me, it's all that smoke. We're streaming on Trovo, Facebook Gaming, YouTube, Twitch, even Twitter, and D Live by chance. And we've been using Restream long before they ever sponsored us. Link is going out right now. You can use the promo code drop1 for 30% off your first month and start restreaming to every single platform at the same time instead of just one. Moving forward,
click our link. We make money if you click the link. Click it. Thank you.
It's actually a great way to support us in the podcast.
Thank you.
Number 9 on our list of 11 illegal things to never do on Twitch. Perrin, you kind of referenced this. It's swatting. I can't believe, I remember the first time, it was a couple of years ago, that I actually first heard about swatting. And I can't believe that somebody actually did it. And now I'm even more surprised now that it continues to happen. This is a major issue, because not only are you potentially putting somebody else in danger, but you're also taking away emergency resources from where it should actually be. And there could be people that are actually need, the police and law enforcement, and they can't get there because they're too busy following up with your practical joke.
This is a serious one. This is one that can cause like some trauma in some cases. And if for those of you who aren't familiar with what swatting is, basically a random person calls the cops on a streamer and comes up with something fake that they did, so that it's serious enough that they'll bring in SWAT to their home or whatever. And this is extremely jarring for a creator, because clearly in these cases they've done nothing wrong, and this is just a random occurrence that can happen. And so once this started happening, there's a level of now like fear for all successful creators that this could happen to you, and there's really not a whole lot you can do about it, other than like make sure you don't have really, really angry fans, which is pretty much impossible. So it's something that's just it's clearly against Twitch's terms of service, and luckily the platforms have helped out a little bit with this. I haven't really heard of how Twitch has handled this other than banning users if you can even identify who called in the SWAT or whatever. So they crack down on this however they can, but they're not always going to know, and they're not always going to be able to. AWOL, what's your take on this one? I'm interested in what you have to say.
Yeah, so people that do SWAT other people do get caught. Because did you know that when you call the police, like they know what number you called from and they can trace your call because they're the police. And so they can track who you are and where you're from, and they will come knock on your door and they confirm that the phone number is associated with you. Some people just call from their mobile phone, or they'll call from like the Skype number thinking they can dodge that. Yeah, the police are like smart, right? And they can figure that shit out. They're not stupid. And so they will find you in some cases. And if you do this, and especially if you're an adult, you could be looking at jail time, bro, because you're putting people's lives in danger. When the SWAT team breaks down the front door and goes into somebody's house, they got their guns out, man. What if they see the wrong thing? What if somebody has their hand in their pocket and then they're like, whoa, what? And they pull their hand out and they think it's a gun. They could kill someone. You could literally get somebody killed. So it's not a game, and there's serious consequences for this. Anyway, let's move on to the next one. That one's so freaking obvious. Moving on, Ross.
It's literally not even funny either. Like, there's no point to it whatsoever. It's just really, really stupid. This is actually a really fun one. God, talk about a change in pace here. Just streaming on Twitch, especially if you're successful, is illegal apparently. AWOL?
Yes. So streaming on Twitch is illegal, evidently, and that's it. You can just be banned for any reason whatsoever. So be careful. If you stream on Twitch, that could potentially be against the rules and be illegal. It's kind of a troll one on the list here, but it's absolutely true. I mean, there's so many streamers that got banned on Twitch, and we have absolutely no reason why. Most famously is our friend of the show, but he's not a friend of the show, Dr. Disrespect. We still don't know why he's banned. Twitch hasn't said it publicly. Dr. Disrespect, I believe him at this point. He still does not actually know because Twitch won't disclose it to him. And there is speculation that they banned him to save millions of dollars. And so just streaming on Twitch puts you at risk. This is a reason why we tell so many of you guys, and pay close attention to this. Going exclusive on Twitch, bad idea, unless they're paying you tons of cash. And even if they are, they could just dump your corpse one day in a dumpster because they don't care. They'll dump their top talent in the dumpster out of nowhere. Guys like Dr. Disrespect that bring the highest level of quality to streaming to their platform, they just dump in the back of the building and care less. Twitch does not care about you, and going exclusive on their platform is a terrible idea. And just streaming on Twitch, you could just get banned out of nowhere. Twitch has no idea what they're doing in terms of DMCA, in terms of copyright. The back end of their technology is awful. They just randomly change their policies and piss people off. It should be illegal to stream on Twitch. That's my hot take.
So it's my belief that Twitch could ban and remove all of the top 100 streamers from their platform and they'd be fine. Imagine this for a second. So think of how, no matter how successful you are on Twitch, you are incredibly expendable, which is not good on your side. And it's all the power is in Twitch's hands. And I wish it weren't this way, but unfortunately it is. And because of that, they can pretty much do whatever they want. And they can just ban you for literally no reason, just because they want to. And they've shown a really irregular behavior to their banning now, where it sometimes follows their community guidelines, it sometimes doesn't. So you don't really know as a creator what's going to happen. And that makes it very, very unsafe for you to have like a secure future. It's going to be hard to have that sense of security when all of your livelihood, if you're exclusive to Twitch, could be taken away for any reason at any moment. Imagine what that must feel like to be someone like Dr. Disrespect and have that happen to you. Imagine what it would be like to be any top streamer, to just suddenly get banned, not really understanding why, and maybe never even knowing truly why, and having to then scramble after that to try to pick up your livelihood and making sure that you don't lose everything that you've built. That really sucks as a business owner and as a branding person to have that risk. Therefore, it's so important. I know we're like a broken record at this point in this podcast, but that's one of the biggest reasons why you need to spread and diversify that risk out so that you can have a stable future and you don't have to have that consistent anxiety that Twitch could just attack you at any moment for any reason whatsoever.
Makes sense. And one thing I'd like to add to that, so obviously I don't actually think it should be illegal to stream on Twitch, but one thing you should know about too, our society at an all-time high is just sensitive to any sort of objectionable content. What I mean by that is, if platforms like Twitch or Facebook or Twitter or any other platform get societal pressure, media pressure, bad PR related to a streamer or a piece of content, their jerk reaction is to suspend or to ban, right? And so that can put you at risk. So just by streaming on Twitch, even if you didn't violate their community guidelines, the one community guideline they don't have on their page is don't give bad PR to Twitch. That's the secret community guideline that's not there. If you give bad PR to Twitch, you could just get banned just for that. And that's something that you should keep in mind. Okay, or if you make somebody upset at the company, you could potentially get banned for that. So just keep that in mind, and that's another reason why human beings run all of these companies. CEOs and executives will make decisions out of nowhere just to benefit themselves or to get the board off of them or to just get rid of a problem, and you are a tiny speck in terms of the 12 million streamers that are on their platform, and they will to get rid of a larger problem, to get rid of tiny little irrelevant you, no problem. Keep that in mind, because that's the real situation. Back to you, Ross.
Yep, they're not thinking twice about banning you. You're just not important to them. If Dr. Disrespect is not important to them, you certainly are not important to them. I don't say that to be mean. I say that to be cautious. Number 11 on our
You're
illegal...
important to us. We love you.
XOXO. 11 illegal things to never do on Twitch. Our last one is obviously racial slurs. Again, this is another one that we shouldn't even have to say, but yet it continues to happen. If you say a racial slur, you're not only going to be banned from that platform, but it's going to completely crush your live streaming career. Not only that, but I'm giving you reasons not to do it for live stream purposes, but it's also just a dick move to use a racial slur.
That's fair, and there are ways to increase the probability that you will say racial slurs that you should avoid, including being drunk, being high, or being under the influence of any drug at all. It brings down your barriers, you just say whatever comes to mind. Terrible idea if you want to avoid saying racial slurs. Number 2, don't play music that has explicit lyrics, because you've seen so many Twitch fails clips. I'm sure you guys have seen it. People sing along, like especially white guys singing along with gangster rap, and then the N-word comes up and they yell the N-word and then go, oh, and then guess what happened? Streaming career over. Right there, just singing along with gangster rap and just singing the N-word. Now, obviously in private, you singing the lyrics, whatever, nobody has a problem with that. But because you are especially a white person saying the N-word, or you're the opposite race of whatever music is happening and you're saying their racial slur, you can't do that. So don't take that risk. Make sure that whatever music you're playing does not have explicit lyrics. You're setting yourself up, even if you just kind of offhandedly mouth the lyrics a little bit and then you mouth the freaking racial slur. Terrible idea. Perrin, any other advice for our friends out there?
It just comes back to being brand safe and being advertisable. Like, no advertiser is going to want to be preceding that type of content. So Twitch, and that's clearly one. That's not just like a Twitch thing to not do on Twitch. That's just like a thing to not do in real life. Like, just be a decent freaking human being and don't do this, and you're good. That's all there is to it.
Makes sense. Speaking of decent human beings, every decent human being I know books me for coaching. So I offer a coaching service for content creators. I've actually got 2 gaming creators that booked me because they watch the show. Book me today, awaldigital.com. Just drop the link in chat. It's also in the description below. You can book me for one-on-one coaching. You can schedule that call. Just click the button or go to my calendar. You just choose your day, you choose your time, and you just tell me what your challenges are, what your goals are as a content creator, and you're on a one-on-one call with me, AWOL, and I'm helping you out with your strategy. I've been doing this for a living for the last 10 years. I've helped dozens of creators go full-time, and I'm interested in helping you if you are looking for somebody to help get you on track, to understand your goals, put together a plan, and tell you specifically what you can do next to be more successful. Ross, get us the hell out of here, buddy.
If there's anything you can take away from this episode, it's one, if something is copyrighted, if you don't own it, don't play it. Doesn't matter if it's music. It doesn't matter if it's video games are obviously not included in this, but movies, TV shows, music, whatever. Just don't do it. Find a way around it. It's not worth that 10 seconds of really good stream content to never be able to stream again. And the other one is simply just don't be an asshole, or show here, asshole. as we saw. We will be back tomorrow. Can't wait to see you guys. If you are listening to the audio version, please do us a favor and leave us a solid review. We greatly appreciate it, and it helps support the show. We'll be back tomorrow.